I would like to begin our discussion by talking about Moldova's relations with the EU in the context of the latest presidential elections. As we know, since 2014, Moldova's relations with the EU have been repeatedly strained by certain political crises involving pro-European governments, but also by the former president's open criticism to the benefits of the association agreement itself. Now, under Ms. Maia Sandu's presidency, in what ways could we expect the dynamics of Moldova's relations with the EU to change?
Well, thank you. First of all, allow me to thank you very much for inviting me to this dialogue, to this discussion, and allow me again to thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain from the first hand the bilateral relations between Republic of Moldova and European Union. As concerning your question, well, if we will look deeper in the history of relations between the Republic of Moldova and European Union, we have to start with 2005, when at that time Moldova was led by the leader of the Communist Party of the Republic of Moldova, Mr. Voronin, which, if you remember, changed the foreign policy vector of the country towards approach to the European Union. I will not go in details explaining why it happens at that period, but since 2005, indeed, our relations between Moldova and European Union has a lot of ups and downs. I remember being a career diplomat, how enthusiastic were our relations after so famous so-called Twitter revolution in the Republic of Moldova in April 2009, after which really all EU capital cities open themselves wide to help Republic of Moldova to modernize as quick as possible, granting a huge amount of credibility at that period. Different governments in the Republic of Moldova being named, as you remember, Alliance for European Integration 1, then Alliance for European Integration 2, and so on and so forth. After that, you remember also the huge disappointment which hit our European partners in 2014 after the famous banking fraud in the Republic of Moldova, which deliver to the end, as I may say, to a little bit frozen period in our dialogue. But I may assume now the responsibility saying that in fact, nowadays, we have no political force in the Republic of Moldova which will put a question mark towards necessity for the Republic of Moldova of implementation of association agreement as well as DCFTA with EU. Because, and I'm happy to state this, that every one politician in the Republic of Moldova understood that we have no alternatives in our goal to modernize the Republic of Moldova, to adopt as much as possible and as quick as possible necessary standards of EU in the national economy, in the social fields, in political fields, and so on and so forth, in order to make my country liable in the long perspectives to become finally a full-fledged member of European Union. Indeed, we have a huge amount of homework to be done, but the last visit of the new president of the Republic of Moldova to Brussels a couple of weeks ago have proved how the openness again from European Union member states as well as from European Commission towards the Republic of Moldova latest political changes are again there. And it will be a huge pity for the Republic of Moldova not to be able to use this new opportunity to get the train again and to speed up the process of modernization of the country, preparing ourselves to be ready for, in one happy day, to become a full-fledged member of European Union.
Thank you. I would like to ask you, Your Excellency, after almost 7 years since the association agreement signature and the subsequent DCFTA entry, what have been the main benefits that the average Moldovan citizens experienced? And conversely, what have been the main disappointments or shortcomings?
Well, it's indeed a very wide question. Definitely, when we are looking through surveys being done in the Republic of Moldova, we can find out that constantly the number of Moldovans who are trusting the bilateral cooperation between the Republic of Moldova and the European Union is permanently increasing. If we remember, at the mid of 0 years, it was almost 50 to 50 dividing lines in the Moldovan society. The half of population considered that it will be better to work closely with European Union. Another half was mostly oriented toward eastern vector of foreign policy of the country. Now we have a completely different figures in latest surveys. For example, more than 63% of Moldovans are trusting our bilateral relations, saying that the European Union is a reliable partner for the development and modernization of the Republic of Moldova. From the other hand, we have also almost impressive figure of more than 82% of Moldovans who are aware about the financial support received by the Republic of Moldova from European Union partners in helping our country to modernize itself. And this is indeed a huge impact of this on the internal political landscape, even in political landscape in the Republic of Moldova, the beneficiary which brings to my country this cooperation with European Union. But when we will look deeper in this subject, I can say that thanks to hundreds of small, medium, and big projects delivered to the Republic of Moldova from European Commission, we succeed to develop an impressive at the time being number of small and medium-sized enterprises, which are more and more being involved in covering the possibility of accessing the European market. If we will look again at the statistical figures, I can say that thanks to DCFTA, as well as the political level of association agreement, we succeed to develop more than our foreign trades. More than 67% of Moldovan exports are being absorbed by European Union market, which is a quite impressive figure. And the rest, it's indeed a huge amount of assistance in strengthening democratic capacities of our institutions, in developing state structures, helping Republic of Moldova in fighting corruption, modernizing or reforming justice system of the Republic of Moldova. It's as you see, it's a huge amount of things which we are involved in the process of implementation in the meantime of DCFTA in the economical part, as well as as concerning association agreement in the political and other social cooperation, justice cooperation, and so on and so forth. So again, we are happy to have in our pocket these two documents, association agreement as well as DCFTA, which give for the Republic of Moldova a tremendous opportunity to use these possibilities in trading with European Union countries and to increase our democracy standards as much as possible. Well, as concerning the difficulties, indeed, I can say that we have still to fight with our internal problems in the Republic of Moldova, which are making a little bit more hard full-fledged implementation of necessary standards and so on and so forth. But again, let me to repeat again, it's our homework, and we have to concentrate ourselves in avoiding or finding a solution for such impediments in speeding our cooperation.
Your Excellency, I would like to take your attention to one of the long-standing challenges, and in that respect, Moldova's judicial reform has become during the past years a hallmark of its relations with the European Union. And accordingly, the President of the European Commission labeling Maya Sandu's electoral victory a clear call to tackle corruption and restore respect for the rule of law. And in your opinion, how do you think that the EU could better support Moldova's anti-corruption reform in the following years? And more interestingly, if I may ask, how do you see a potential imposition of Magnitsky-style sanctions by the EU against the politicians who are involved in major corruption scandals?
Well, allow me to split in two parts of your question. First, as concerning assistance delivered by European Union to Republic of Moldova in fighting corruption, indeed, this phenomenon is a very dramatic one for the Republic of Moldova, and we really have to fight. Finally, we have to declare a real war on corruption in the Republic of Moldova. And believe me, I'm giving you now just an example from my private life. I'm a career diplomat which is serving my country since 1996 in foreign service. And I remember when I was young, with young family, with a young small daughter in my hands, I was confident at that period that, well, we are a young democracy country, we are a young country, but with a hard work in 5 or perhaps 10 years, we will succeed to overcome these economical troubles and so on and so forth. And we will see the Republic of Moldova well-developed and strong country. Unfortunately, because of corruption, I have to recognize that now, after 30 years of Moldovan independence, we still have to fight this phenomenon. Indeed, it's a very hard work in front of us. And I have to thank very much for our European partners for helping Republic of Moldova in increasing our structures of fighting corruption and so on and so forth. It was done in the meantime, a tremendous work. Nevertheless, we're still in a position to increase the capacity of Moldovan anti-corruption or corruption fighting institutions. And this is exactly one of the chapters which is ongoing now in our bilateral dialogue. This is exactly the period now when we are being engaged in a dialogue in a bilateral way with European Union, because we are now in the final period of negotiation Moldovan association agenda for next 7 years. We are now also in the multilateral issues. We are waiting to see what kind of deliverables we will have after Eastern Partnership Summit ambitious agenda after 2020, as you know. As well, we are now also in the process of negotiation of multi-annual input program between Republic of Moldova and the European Union. So we have now 2 big programs and our expectation as concerning Eastern Partnership arrangements after 2020. And I'm confident that fighting corruption will and should be a significant chapter in our bilateral arrangements with the European Union. Indeed, no one from abroad will come and will clean here inside the Republic of Moldova this phenomenon. This is indeed also a thing that it's almost quite impossible to make corruption at zero. I'm sure that there's no country around the world with a zero corruption inside. But what we can achieve the zero tolerance towards this phenomenon. We can clean our political landscape from this phenomenon, and we should clean our judicial system from this phenomenon. Because allow me just to give you an example of what is going on in Moldovan justice system. For example, in the court, you have a case, and in the morning came one party being involved in this case, delivering an envelope with money to the judge, and he received a positive decision of the court. In the evening or in the afternoon came another part on the same case, delivering a little bit bigger envelope with money to the same judge, and he receives also the positive decision of the court. So it's sometimes a quite stupid situation in Moldovan justice system, which act not according to the law, but according to the how big the envelope with some papers inside, which is completely unacceptable, unfortunately. And we have to fight it because successing in reforming Moldovan judicial system, it will open wide doors to foreign investments. They will be ensured by Moldovan truly independent and transparent judicial system, which we definitely need, because without foreign investments, no national economy can develop itself, and so on and so far. You see, it's a core element for the ensuring the future development of any country, especially in the Republic of Moldova. So that's why, in my opinion, and the opinion of newly incoming, of newly elected president of the Republic of Moldova, is the core element fighting corruption in all its format in the Republic of Moldova. And I'm really hoping that with necessary political will, we will succeed. This is another topic to be discussed. If we will succeed to clean our political landscape, and cleaned political landscape will start this fight, a very difficult exercise of fighting corruption in the country. As concerning so-called European Magnitsky Act, I have looked through, and seems to me, according to the action plan of democracy and human rights, which belongs to this European Magnitsky Act, it's quite very volatile formulations inside this. I understand, and I can only welcome the intention of our European partners. But so far it stands not quite clear how this mechanism will tackle the politicians who are being involved in corruption acts. In the meantime, for me, it's quite clear that we have to concentrate on the domestic judicial system. And so far, the politicians, which corruption act was demonstrated in the court, was condemned officially by a court. But it makes quasi impossible to get them or to jail them. In this case, indeed, the international sanctions might be a very important tool in hands of European policy towards concrete politicians who are being accused by corruption acts. And indeed, we don't to forget about the bilateral tools which countries are usually using in a bilateral relations between countries, in asking the extradition of somebody who is being hidden in one or another country, and so on and so forth. But even in this case, we can find out that a lot of countries are not extraditing their citizens to another country. And you know that in the Republic of Moldova, we have the national legislation does not prohibit the double citizenship and so on and so forth. And you know, for example, the case of famous Moldovan bank robbery, where one of the figure is in the meantime is being hidden in another country, which is not extraditing, having the citizenship of that very country, and that very countries will not extradite its citizens even to the Republic of Moldova. So it's an issue which is welcomed, but allow me to consider that we have to still, or our European partners still have to work on more concrete mechanism how to work and how to impose the sanctions towards politicians who were condemned by concrete criminal cases with corruption. I hope it was quite clear in this, respect.
It was very detailed, thanks.
I would like to touch upon your previous comment related to the post-2020 deliverables of the EaP Summit. In early January, you were quoted saying that you hope the EaP Summit's results in March will lead to a strengthened cooperation with the EU, underlining your country's interest in an ambitious cooperation framework, which would offer the possibility of fully exploiting the advantages of the association agreement with the EU. Could you tell us, Your Excellency, what have been so far your country's main obstacles in exploiting these advantages? Any areas you would like to highlight here?
Well, indeed, for the Republic of Moldova as a member of this arrangement of Eastern Partnership is definitely very important to call finally that very summit of Eastern Partnership, which you probably know is already being a little bit postponed from March, perhaps to June, or is not being included even later this year. But it seems to me that it's time to finally to gather together the leaders of these 6 countries of Eastern Partnership arrangements with the leaders of European Union countries, and to engage in a very productive, efficient dialogue how to deal in the future with our cooperation. And you know that inside the Eastern Partnership arrangement, there are 3 associate members of Eastern Partnership and 3 countries which are still not associate members of with European Union. So I'm not pleading now for dividing lines inside the Eastern Partnership arrangement, not at all. We should remain unified, and we should remain in strong collective cooperation with European Union with respect to the EU relations with towards Eastern Partnership countries. But what I have meant with that statement is that we have to perhaps to adopt a different approach in a separate case individually with each country separately according to the deliverables delivered, sorry for my tautology, delivered by each country separately in its approach to European Union standards, to the democratization of the society and to modernization of the country in line with European standards. As concerning, I'm not going now to talk on behalf of other countries, namely Georgia and Ukraine, but as concerning Republic of Moldova, our main interest is to see a little bit more engagement from the side of European Union towards Republic of Moldova in our concrete case, being as associate member of European Union, and finally opening a new chapter, a more proactive chapter in our bilateral relations between Moldova and the European Union, which is especially in this momentum is very important to get a signal of encouraging for our society and for state structures from the side of European Union, saying at least, guys, go ahead, you're doing well what you're doing, or at least your intentions are being recognized and we will help in your exercise of modernizing country and so on and so forth, which, believe me, having at least a sufficient dosage of fatigue inside the country with an open-ended process of implementation of European standards. And you can imagine it's not an easy exercise for the state structures. That's why even for state civil servants, it will be a very encouraging message in saying that, guys, go ahead and what you're doing is you are doing well. As concerning the troubles which we are facing in increasing relations, even in line with Eastern Partnership framework of cooperation with European Union, allow me to be a little bit self-critical. I see that we have 3 main problems in our society. First of all, it's a systemic problem. What do I mean with systemic problem? This is a huge negative baggage which state structures are still bringing with. Sometimes, and I have witnessed a lot of these cases, even a very good and ambitious ideas being voiced in Chisinau, in the capital city of the Republic of Moldova, because of this negative baggage from behind, is being suspiciously treated by our colleagues in Brussels, which makes a little bit more difficult our work here in the Republic of Moldova to be more proactive in arguing the necessity of one or another program or ideas in our future cooperation between Republic of Moldova and European Union. So it's one issue which bring us a challenge to clean a little bit this negative baggage from behind, but you can imagine it's not an easy exercise. We need perhaps a change of civil servants generation in order to escape from the background which come again behind us. Secondly, this is a very difficult situation with institutional capacity in the Republic of Moldova. You know that we are facing, as I may say this, an exodus of brains from the Republic of Moldova to even to European Union member states. And sometimes it's quite difficult to find well-educated experts and to engage them, to bring them as civil servants in state structures, offering them the possibility to use their expertise, use their knowledge in helping Republic of Moldova by implementation of EU acquis in Moldovan national legislation, Moldovan national standards, and so on and so forth. Believe me, this is a real problem which we are facing, and even in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and European integration, sometimes we have troubles in finding the new colleagues, young colleagues, to be added in Moldovan diplomatic service with necessary knowledge and necessary expertise, preparing them further for becoming a well-expertised, well-prepared diplomats. And in this connection, indeed, we will need additional help from our European partners in strengthening exactly in this point the capacity of Moldovan state structures. And third, but not least, this is indeed political stability. You know that we cannot ensure a very active and a very efficient foreign policy without being backed by a strong political stability inland, which is very important both for home policies as well as for foreign policies. And you know that even now I am serving as acting Prime Minister in the Republic of Moldova, as well as acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and European integration. And believe me, this political instability exactly nowadays in the Republic of Moldova makes very difficult, firstly, to ensure the necessary speed of internal reform. Secondly, to ensure necessary amounts of agreements with our international partner, because as acting government, this government is being limited on its mandate to sign international treaties or financial agreements with international financial institutions. And nobody knows exactly how long this period of political instability will take. That definitely the Republic of Moldova needs to have as soon as possible a full-fledged government in order to pursue with all this necessary reform as from tomorrow, if I may say this. So political stability, it's also a very, very important element which ensure the development of all other deliverables, as I mentioned, at the home level as well as in our foreign policy.
Mr. Prime Minister, to build up a little bit more on the upcoming Eastern Partnership Summit, I would like to take your attention to the following. Besides analyzing the results achieved since the summit in 2017, I think the purpose of the Eastern Partnership Summit in March 2021 is to adopt a new set of deliverables for the post-2020 period. And in this respect, may I ask you, are there any areas Moldova would like to prioritize that so far have not been given enough attention by your colleagues in Brussels?
Well, they are indeed a couple of priorities which from our opinion should be the main priority in our future cooperation with the European Union in the framework of Eastern Partnership. First of lines, economical development. We have to concentrate ourselves in, as I mentioned previously, in cleaning our judicial system, reforming our judicial system, preparing necessary basis for ensuring the foreign investments in Moldovan national economy, and to open broader the gates for accepting foreign investments in our national economy. From this respect, we have to concentrate ourselves in in how to work in improving economical landscape in the Republic of Moldova. And here I'm confident that the expertise of our European partners definitely will help us in looking on this topic and to do what we have to do in this respect. Secondly, we have to concentrate ourselves in energy sector, in developing the energy sector, ensuring the energy independence of the Republic of Moldova, because you probably know that at the time being, when it comes to gas consumption, natural gas consumption in the country, we're still almost 100% depending from resources abroad or from foreign deliverables, as well as in electricity sectors. That's why for our it's crucial, for crucial importance to finalize this junction between European system, energy system, gas system, electricity system with the Republic of Moldova. And allow me to look quite optimistic forward and saying that I will be happy that in 2 or 3 years we will be finally ready to integrate these energy sectors fully in the European energy systems. I really hope that we will succeed. And third, it's indeed a security issue. Republic of Moldova as a neutral country, as it's stated in Moldovan constitution, but we have to work closely with our international partners in ensuring Moldovan security in different fields. Let me just to mention fighting cyber crimes, fighting hybrid threats to the national security, as well as all other different aspects of this aspect. But allow me to state again, it's in full accordance with the principle of neutrality of the country. But indeed, that security issue should be also a topic to be discussed and to be bring at least on the table to see how to increase the security not only of the Republic of Moldova as a single member states of Eastern Partnership, but to look a little bit broader as a whole region as it is. Just very shortly, but very frankly in this respect.
Thank you. For our last point of discussion, Your Excellency, I would like to draw attention to Moldova's strategic partnership with Romania. As we know, in last December, Romania's president visit to Chișinău was hailed by Ms. President Sandu as a renewal of Moldova's bilateralism with Romania after 6 years of modest strategic dialogue and no high-level visits between the country's presidents. From your distinguished position also as Minister of Foreign Affairs, what role do you see for Romania in Moldova's pro-European path, and how would you characterize its support in this regard until now?
Well, first of all, I would like to use this opportunity to convey for our Romanian colleagues the thankful of Moldovan government for whole support delivered by Romania to the Republic of Moldova during even since our independence, and indeed it's a quite significant sign that the Romanian pays a huge attention to strengthen our strategic partnership between the Republic of Moldova and Romania. And indeed, as Romania as a member of the European Union remains the main advocate of the Republic of Moldova in the European Union family. Just giving you an example, you know that we have Romania co-chaired together with France, a so-called group of friends of Moldova within the European Union family, as well as Romania is playing a very active role in helping Republic of Moldova inside the action group for Moldova inside the European Union, for which we are very thankful for our Romanian colleagues. And bearing in mind that we have signed in April, if I remember, it should be April 7, 2010, when at that time presidents of both countries have signed the strategic partnership for European perspectives between both countries. And this is indeed the core political document between the Republic of Moldova and Romania till nowadays. Romania has succeeded to help a lot Republic of Moldova, even in a very difficult COVID pandemic year, 2020, and still 2021. For example, Romania delivers a lot of humanitarian aid in fighting COVID consequences last year in the Republic of Moldova. Even yesterday, I saw that the Romanian government has adopted a new tranche of humanitarian aid to Moldovan hospitals, to Moldovan doctors who are fighting at the first line this pandemic in the Republic of Moldova. So Romania remains the main partner when it comes to European path of the Republic of Moldova and our modernization. I'm not going to talk in details, but it's a huge amount of assistance which we have received in the meantime from Romania, starting from renovation of kindergarten, libraries, theaters, and so on and so forth, even helping Moldovan civil society to be more proactive, and so on and so forth. Definitely, we have to increase our partnership and to maintain a higher level dialogue between Chisinau, Moldovan capital city, and Bucharest, Romania's capital city. And I'm confident that as far from opening a new chapter in the last political dialogue between both countries, allow me to be quite optimistic that it will be more and more proactive and more efficient in the coming weeks, coming months, even coming decades in the future. So again, Romania is one of the main partner in international agenda, and Romania, again, we're thankful for assuming by Romania as the role of advocate for the Republic of Moldova in European Union. Let's work together, and we will do our best in order to cooperate fruitfully and to repeat it again, allow me to repeat it again, to do our homework as it should be done properly, 100%. Well, you see, I have also used the German word. I served a lot of years in Germany. Sometimes I have this mishing of languages.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you so much for this fruitful exchange. And really, we are delighted that you dedicate your time on this exchange, although I can imagine you're extremely busy. Thank you very, very much.
I have to thank you from my side very much for inviting me and having this brilliant exchange of options, of ideas, and prospects for the future. Thank you so much, and I will remain at your disposal for any additional questions or for any new proposals for engaging ourselves in a direct conversation. Thank you so much. Allow me to wish you a nice day and a nice coming weekend.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Thank you. All the best.
All the best.